Hey folks, Country Prepper here. Well, this is a little different setting than you guys are used to seeing in my videos, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about food storage, and this is our storage room. Recently, I have had to adjust my food storage strategy because, like most preppers, we started off buying cans of food at the grocery store, buying a little extra here and there when we found stuff on sale. One of my favorite things was chunky soup, but the problem with a lot of those canned foods at the grocery store is they have a lot of preservatives in them. A lot of them have a lot of starchy foods and carbohydrates and things like that in it. And because I have changed my diet, trying to get a little healthier, lose some weight, and feel a lot better, I can't eat those foods anymore. So a lot of our canned foods were starting to expire. And when times are good, there's no sense in taking the chance of eating expired food. It's just not worth the risk, in my opinion. I'm not going to eat it because of my diet, and I'm not going to feed it to my kids because, like I said, it's just not worth the risk for a couple dollar can of soup. Now, we're still doing the things we've been doing for several years, preserving things that we grow in our garden. Like we will can our sweet corn, green beans, tomatoes, and things like that. This one's from this year, our corn, sweet corn. And I haven't got to try that yet because corn's not part of my diet. But also tomato sauce. I believe this is pasta sauce, yep, from this year. And so we've got a ton of that. And then, like more of our starchy type foods, potatoes, carrots, stuff like that, I will dehydrate that and then put it in Mylar bags. This is one from 2015. These are diced potatoes. And I opened up a bag of these a few weeks ago, and they were still good to go. So nothing to worry about there. As long as you dehydrate them well, they will store for a very long time. And put oxygen absorbers inside your Mylar bags with the whatever you're dehydrating. The main thing that I have changed about my food storage strategy is, instead of buying canned foods at the grocery store and spending that money and cycling through it and having to buy more and buy extra all the time, instead of doing that, I'm putting my money, when I can afford it, towards more foods that have a long shelf life. Of course, when you're talking long-term food storage, almost everybody knows about Mountain House. And beef stew, I had to grab that one. That's my favorite. But that one is, the date on there is 2041. It's going to last a very, very long time. I might not be dead and gone by the time that expires, but by then I'll be old enough that I don't care if shit hits the fans. There are a lot of good companies out there to get long shelf life foods. Another one that we get a lot of is Augustin Farms, and this one has an expiration of January 2042. If you guys, I don't think it'll focus good enough on that. But, I mean, that's going to keep for a very long time. Another good company to buy from is Valley Food Storage. That has a 25-year shelf life. They have a lot of really good stuff. I especially like their chicken Alfredo. And then to go along with that, we will buy canned meat. They have Keystone at Walmart. And so to go along with, like, the chili, you get the ground beef. And that has a decent shelf life. It's not anywhere near as good as freeze-dried, but this one expires in 2021. So that's going to keep for a good long time. They have like beef tips and ground beef, chicken, turkey. I believe they might have sausage, ground sausage or ground pork, I can't remember exactly, but they have a bunch of different types of meat that have a pretty decent shelf life. One thing you want to be very careful of if you are buying canned foods, stay away from cans that have a pop-top lid. You notice the cans of meat do not have a pop-top lid. That makes them store for a lot longer. I have had cans of, like, I think it was a cream of chicken, maybe a cream of celery, that went bad. The can, it was not expired. In fact, it was like a year away from expiring. But that pop-top lid just got bumped enough that the food was no good. I also had a can of chunky soup that had the same thing happen to it. You couldn't tell the can was not damaged in any way. You couldn't tell that the seal was broken, but when you opened it up and smelled it, oh wow, does that turn your stomach in a hurry. Another thing to be aware of not only is the smell, but also the color. You want to pay close attention to the color of food when you open it, especially in the case like if shit hits the fan and you come across some canned food that is expired. Make sure when you open it, don't just eat it. Make sure you smell it, pour it out into something, make sure the color is right, make sure there's no bugs in it or anything like that. There are still a few things we get from the grocery store, like our pasta, which I don't eat that either, but everybody else in the family does. Flour, sugar, things like that. You can store those in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. You can also actually can it, it works especially well if you have a vacuum sealer. So to sum it all up, I have basically gone from a buy what you eat and cycle through your canned foods to a more buy it and forget it approach. That way I spend the money once and I'm done. After putting it that way, I kind of wonder if the buy it and forget it approach would possibly save you more money in the long term. I know especially like the Mountain House and stuff like that is pretty expensive. I think a can of this is $25, maybe more. But if you're buying it once and just putting it away in a cool, dry place, and you never have to buy it again, you might actually be money ahead. I'm not sure about that, but it's something to look into. So as always, I look forward to your comments, and maybe we can get a conversation going in the comments section below. We're always here to learn from each other and share our ideas. That's all I got for you guys today. As always, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.